right, good morning, guys. Long time no see. Literally, yesterday we were supposed to record and I slept in till noon and I had stuff going on, so couldn't make it work. But we're back. I actually had a lineup that cashed yesterday. Pivetta was a little chalk, but got to 47. Altuve and Tucker did their thing. Gunnar Henderson, 1 for 3 with a home run, a walk, stolen base. Santander got us 15. The only downside of the lineup is Adley Rutschman went 0 for 5, and we can never get Acuna right 0 for 3 with a walk, so they combined for 3. I think Acuna deserves like a lifetime ban. Every time we play him, it's 0 for 3 with the walk. 160.9. Finally, it feels good. We got about what 26 or 27 days left until college football, roughly. So we don't have to worry about this stupid sport anymore. Takeaways from yesterday.
Uh, it was just good to round out a terrible month with a win. Um, been playing the $33 this week just because it's the Roto Grinders like special ones. The price was a little nicer. Able to place there, but Adley over 5 was kind of shitty, and Acuna, when you're basically paying anything over 4K for a hitter and they get you three, you're pretty much dead in the water almost. But Pivetta picked up all his slack, dropped almost 50. He was just, I mean, he was maybe even a little overpriced at 8K. I would have liked him at like 75 because he was like mid sixes on DraftKings, but he still got the job done. Other than that, I mean, Glass now was fine. I'm surprised Lugo pitched so well in Coors. France had a decent day. There wasn't that many hitters that were up. Like, I mean, some Tampa when they had 4 home runs, that was frustrating. Because Brandon Lowe, swear to God, he tries to bury us every slate. He's always 25% owned and hits 30 fantasy points for no reason. But yeah, the month was tough. We were like 55%, I think, going into July, which is decent. Just playing tournaments, like keeping yourself afloat. And then we were 5 and 17 this month. I mean, obviously we skipped a couple days. That's why it's 5 and 17. But yeah, hopefully we can just stay afloat this month. Maybe get a bank in there and then play some college football.
I'm just so over baseball in general. Not even just mostly from a gambling perspective, but I'm not even a big college football guy. Like I just want football or the NBA and for the Bulls to stomp on Trae Young's head. For whatever reason, Trae Young goes God mode on the Bulls, and I don't get it. Okay, so pitching right now, obviously Strider's number one. There's some good pitching options, so you can go Framber Valdez, Zach Gallen, I guess Lance Lynn, Pablo Lopez, Justin Steele, Peralta, Evelyn Cobb, Heaney. I mean, there's just so many damn pitchers today, but I think we can all agree Strider looks good.
Yeah.
So besides him, I mean, what else? Is there anything else that's standing out to you a little bit?
He's just not priced correctly. He needs to be 12K. Every slate needs to be like 12-2, 12-1. 11-3 is just not high enough for me to get away from him, especially at 24% ownership projected right now. Maybe he touches 30%, but Lynn coming in pretty damn close at 20% is enough for me to just eat and play Strider because that's just insanity. I mean, I know Lynn's playing Oakland, but I don't know why I would do that to myself. Valdez is a fair price. I mean, 10K, but playing Cleveland, just not a team I like to attack that often. Gallon, Also, a pretty fair price tag in a pitcher's park. Just like the other guys I had about, I would play Valdez over Gallen just for price. Lynn, like I said, gaining some steam here. It's understandable. It's Oakland, but why would I want to play Chalk Lynn when I can play similarly owned Strider with the upside of like 70? Uh, Lopez, I don't know. I think you said you like Lopez more than me before we started the show. I think I'd rather take Gallen and Valdez over him. Steele, sure. I think the Cubs have a decent chance to get the win today because Ben Lively sucks. So I think getting the 6 points from Steele would be nice. Peralta, no thanks. Eflin, definitely not after you dropped -6 for us that one time. Cobb, no. Heaney against the White Sox, gaining 10% ownership. No chance. No chance. Bello is kind of interesting. He's been nice with it for like the last 2 months, and he's 1% owned. So maybe a GPP guy. Rodon, definitely not. This slate is just filled with guys that like to tilt us. I can't wait to see how it turns out.
It's funny because, like I said, there's so many options to go to, but there's really like just about a handful of guys. After thinking about it more, Strider only 11-3, as kind of nuts as that sounds. That makes sense. Valdez against Cleveland gaining 6% makes sense, but Cleveland just doesn't strike out, which is kind of annoying. Gallen looks interesting against San Fran, only getting 1%. He's at Gallen. I just have a little bit of bias where he had like that one day that he got like 60 something for us, and he's been like my favorite pitcher ever since. Finally traded Lance Lynn away to the sorry ass Dodgers, and now he's going to become like Houston Astros Garrett Cole. 9,400 getting 21% ownership versus Oakland, it makes sense. I think the reason why he's gaining a lot more ownership is just because of the bats that you can get to at 9,400. Lopez 10-5 versus St. Louis only getting 1%. St. Louis was supposed to be this like amazing ball club, with Goldschmidt, Arenado, called up Jordan Walker. They're supposed to have like a lot of good pieces, and they're just not performing. Pablo Lopez, strikeout upside. He's got a long leash. We had him that one day where he had a complete game. So Steele is a little interesting against the Reds. I don't, I don't know. It's interesting, but it's also Cincinnati. They can hit the ball now all of a sudden this year. Peralta against Washington. He's been hot recently, but same issue as Framber Valdez with Cleveland. They just don't strike out, and he's just kind of a bad pitcher. Alex Cobb, no. Heaney's a little interesting, but no thanks. I don't know how well Bello has been recently, but he's got the strikeout upside versus Seattle, so I understand that. Let's see how he's done recently. Against Atlanta, he got 25. Against Oakland, he got 3, but then 34 against the Cubs, 34 against the Rangers, 37 against Miami, 42 against the White Sox, go figure, 52 against the Yankees. Definitely not a bad option there at 8,500. Everyone else is just kind of meh. I don't really see any other options unless you do, and I'm just not seeing anything.
No, I think we pretty much covered it. I was just trying to find some K props, but nothing looks enticing.
Give me your like top four, like rank your top four pitchers.
I'd probably go with ownership involved. I still go Strider, Valdez, Steele, Lynn, Bello.
I'd probably go Strider, Gallon, Lopez, Steele. I'll ride with Bello. I I think we can agree when Framber Valdez was playing the sorry ass Oakland A's that kind of screwed us over. We just banned him completely. All right. On to stacks. This one's load up properly. So to no surprise, you got San Diego at Coors if it even plays. You got the Mets, Atlanta, Texas, Dodgers, Rockies, Milwaukee, Houston, Cubs, Tigers. I'm not reading the rest of the names. So, hmm. So yeah, this is what it's got right now. We thought we dodged a bullet yesterday with not playing any Coors guys, and it didn't really matter anyways. I think McMahon hit a home run and somebody else did, but I mean that's about it. But what's looking interesting to you right now?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the weather turns out to be again. I can't believe they played that game last night. That fully tilted me because if that were going to drop out of caching. Uh, they played the game like 2.5 hours later, but whatever. Looks to be the same weather. Just keep your eyes on it. If it's more suspect than yesterday, probably just going to fade it again and hope for the best. Uh, if you don't want to play the Padres, teams I wrote down: Braves, Mets, Dodgers, Chicago, Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, in that order. Um, I didn't look at the rest of the weather around the ballparks, but I'm sure the Braves have some pretty good weather. Sandoval tends to get blown up here and there, so obviously the Braves are in play, and they'll probably ruin this slate just like they do every other one. The Mets stand out a good bit on ballpark power for home runs. Dodgers against Waldichuk, absolutely. Texas against who's this Schulten's guy? I don't know.
White Sox legend. There's
Uh-huh.
some infatuation with this guy. Like he pitches and everyone just like goes crazy over him. He's like an okay relief guy, but traded away Giolito, Lopez, Lynn, Joe Kelly. So now we're gonna have a lot of bullpen games or guys having to try to go like five or six. Schultz is one of those guys.
So, I mean, maybe not as much of a priority, but Texas is somewhat in play. Like Milwaukee against Gray. I like I said, Chicago against Ben Lively. He absolutely stinks. I like what else is down here? Oh yeah, Pittsburgh against Matt Manning. It's probably where I stop in the stack tool, which is like 10 teams down.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with all of that. If Coors does play, you're getting a pitching matchup of Ryan Weathers and Peter Lambert. Don't even really know those guys, so I mean, even a game stack with that would be nice if the game plays. Mets against Greinke. The Mets never do anything for us, but yeah, Atlanta is Atlanta. Texas Rangers against the White Sox. Dodgers against Oakland looks good. Outside of the top 10, the only couple teams that I can think of that are somewhat interesting, Baltimore again, Minnesota, and Tampa. Now, the last time we played Rodon against Who did they? Wasn't it the Mets or something?
Yeah, it was the Mets.
Rodon went like 5 2/3 and actually kind of picked it up a bit and got some strikeouts. So it didn't matter. We lost anyway. But I mean, Tampa against Rodon. Rodon hasn't really been himself since coming back from that forearm injury. And Tampa decided to hit like 4 home runs yesterday. Um, Baltimore against Hyunjin Ryu, whatever. I know his face. This is his first outing of the season. He might get lit up a little bit. Minnesota against Nicholas. He's been crap after last season having a great season. Minnesota can definitely get to him, but then again, we've had Minnesota screw us over plenty of times in the past. You might call me a little nuts for this. Kansas City versus Jose Quintana. Quintana's a White Sox legend himself. He's been sort of serviceable, Quintana, but I mean, Kansas City just randomly at times, like when we played Eflin and he got his -6. That was all thanks to Kansas City. So Kansas City, Baltimore, Minnesota, Tampa are some decent pivots in my opinion. Really just keep an eye on the weather for Colorado, San Diego, Mets, Atlanta, Texas, Milwaukee, sure. Houston against Gavin Williams, yeah. Cubs and Detroit. Plenty of plenty of options today. Um, let's do the lineup generator. Share screen. All right, so Fanduel. Do we do our 4-3-1?
Yeah,
We'll do balanced. Huh.
just throw Strider in there.
Yeah, what a surprise getting to a lot of cores, even though the game might like not even play, but that's okay. Let's check stack exposures. So really likes Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, Texas, Kansas City, the Mets. Okay. Corey Dickerson.
Josh Young's pretty cheap, 3,100.
Who the hell is Tucker Davidson? Did you get that notification as well? Some interesting options. Obviously you got Grisham hit his like first nuke of the year yesterday. Frelick and Adamas 3K looks kind of interesting. Robbie Grossman still plays professional baseball. Look at some of these price
Grisham hit
tags.
his first home run yesterday.
Huh?
It was Grisham's like 11th.
Did I read the thing wrong? I thought because I got the home run notification, I thought it was his first. Look
Yeah.
at these price tags on Waters, Olivares, Witt.
Witt needs to drop his 50 piece this week, like he always does at some point.
I have him in fantasy baseball, and I kind of need it. I'm already down in like one day pretty heavily. No, your boy Brendan Rodgers, 40%.
Yeah,
Um,
it cost me some G's last year.
um, but yeah, this is just a good way to get to think and see what it like, see then what you like, and then you can export it to a CSV. Some pretty interesting options here that it's got. CJ Abrams went back down to 2,700. All right, that's enough of that. All right, run through your home run calls.
Home runs for today, I got JD Martinez, Pete Alonso, and Buxton.
I'm gonna go with Jake Sawinski, Matt Olson, and Luis Roberts do. Oh, the first taco of the day. Freddie Peralta, instead of 5.5 strikeouts, it's 3.5.
Kind of seems like a lot.
I might I might post a price fix play with that. I'm not even kidding. Like
Don't
part
play
of
him
me,
fancy though, because he's not going to do it.
what's it?
He's going to sell because he's a taco.
Twitter voted for him. I forgot what the other one was, but I voted for someone else. But oh well. That should just about do it though. Is there any final thoughts you have?
No, just make sure to check out our lineup about 15 minutes before lock. Hopefully, I can get it out there before then. Make sure to check out Stochastics tools in our description for all the data you need, and like and subscribe if you haven't already.